small video session, I would like to explain about the strength of materials, which is a branch of mechanics. Now, mechanics is a branch of science which involves Newton's laws. First law, second law, and third law, and universal gravity constant. So, out of these laws, the first law and strength of materials are closely related. So, the first law is a state that unless and until we apply a force on a body, it will not be disturbed. So, this is mainly, mechanics is mainly rigid body mechanics. Rigid body mechanics. In the rigid body mechanics, we have particle mechanics and rigid body mechanics. In the mechanics, we have rigid body mechanics. Now, particle mechanics is something different. Now, in this rigid body, if you apply the principles of mechanics to a resistant body, that means the rigid body will apply the forces, the rigid body will not show any deformation. But in case of strong materials, if you apply a force, the body will deforms. The body will deforms. Now, the concept of strength of materials is to study how much deformation will take place. How much deformation will take place when you apply a load, when you apply a force there. So, the Newton's first law is used to determine the unknown reaction forces when the body, for the body to be in equilibrium. But in strength of materials, apart from the determination of unknown forces, we also find out the deformation. So here we are going to study the longitudinal deformation, the lateral deflection, and other things. So, the various concepts that we study in strength of materials are stress and strain. Stress and strain. Now we are applying a load on a body. At the point of application, the stress and strain intensity will be there, and this stress intensity will keep on changing as the distance progresses from the application of the load. And because of the stress, there is some deformation, there is strain in the body. So we have study of what definition of stress and strain and what are different types of stresses and strains that are there, that will be initially we will be studying in strength of materials. After that, the deflection in the members, because see, these are the two resistant places, this is a beam and we are applying a force. Now because of this is a deflection, so to study this deflection on beams, you have to study shear force and bending moment diagram. Shear force and bending moment diagram. After studying the shear force and bending moment diagram, you have to determine bending stresses. Bending stresses. Bending stresses in beams. And also shear stresses in beams. Shear stresses in beams. So after studying shear stresses in beams, you are going to study about deflection of beams. Deflection of beams. So bending stresses, shear stresses, and shear strain, bending strain due to bending, and deflection. So these are all we are going to study in strength of materials. Apart from this, the cylindrical pressure vessels. Pressure vessels. Now the pressure vessels, they will contain a lot of amount of liquid, and this liquid will be processed in the cylinders, the vessels, and because of this liquid apply some forces on the cylindrical shells, and because of this, there will be deflection and stress and strain will be there in the cylindrical members of the pressure vessels. So that is what we are going to study in case of strength of materials. So, and after this, in strength of materials, we also study about, for example, there is a vertical column is there, and this vertical column is applied force along the axis. Now, because of this, there will be some compressive stress as well as buckling. Compressive stress as well as buckling will be there. Now, this is what we are going to study in pressure vessels. So, first one is longitudinal stress, different types of stresses and strains. Longitudinal stress, lateral stress, shear stress, compressive stress, crushing stress, and corresponding strains. And then shear force and bending moment diagrams for various beams for different loading applications. And then deflection of beams that are deflecting because of the appearing in different types of various type of loads, uniformly distributed load, trapezoidal load, different types and all that. And after that, deflection of beams will be there. And after the pressure vessels are going to study the circumferential pressure and stresses and longitudinal stress that will study, and buckling of beams. So this is what will be the overall strength of materials, which is a branch of engineering mechanics. Thank you for watching the video.
Yes.